Hello and welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. We're going to be going into the Leo full moon reading for November 2019. Now Leo, the full moon this November period is going to be on the 12th, and it's going to be in the sign of Taurus. All right, Leo. Now, full moon is a period of time where energies are heightened. Our perceptivity is heightened, our desire to express ourselves and to move forward into the world, to take action on the path towards our goals and objectives is activated, right? It's highly activated during the full moon period, and it's at this time that we also begin to do practical things about our dreams, right? About achieving our dreams. So let's get right into pulling out your animal spirit, Leo. We're going to just pull out one card for your animal spirit. And this is going to be the animal spirit that you may or may not resonate with. Of course, this is not going to be for every Leo out there, but this is just going to give us an idea of what added energies are around this full moon period. And you have the bee. Now, the bee just came out for Cancer. I believe it was, yes, for Cancer. And yeah, I mean, bee energy, very resourceful, right? The bee is extremely sort of enthusiastic, resourceful, willing to be part of the team, be a team player. This is air energy, which is, of course, compatible with your fire, Leo. But when people resonate with bee energy, they're an absolute delight to be around. They make everyone feel comfortable. This is the person who also brings a sense of creativity and flair to a particular project, right? They're going to be the very exciting one. They may be a bit eccentric, etc., right? But they bring a sense of joviality and support for everyone in a very even and fair way. The bee is also associated with the democratic way or philosophy of living, right? In the sense that bees live in a colony, right? So they're very social, democratic sort of individuals who resonate with this energy. And in this way, they always want to make sure that everyone in the group is being treated fairly, has a say in what's going on. So these can also be the great peacemakers, right? Bees are really, really good peacemakers, and they're also very good mediators. But more than anything, everyone loves to be around a person who is radiating with bee energy. All right, now let's get right into your spread, Leo. Now, of course, we know that this spread is not going to be for everyone. And it's really just for this full moon period, which we're waxing into now. About 5 to 6 days before full moon, the waxing period begins, and then after the moon, the waning period going into the new moon begins. And so these few days before, really, a few days after, really 3 to 4 before and after the full moon are really kind of part of that full moon cycle. Of course, the full moon is going to be on the 12th. But the few days before are going to feel, you're going to start to feel a ramping up of this energy. And then a few days after, it will be kind of this feeling of it's subsiding and whatever residuals or fallout, right? Because the full moon can bring with it a lot of extreme feelings and actions. And sometimes there's a lot of fallout from our activities or our actions that we take during a full moon period. And that comes the few days afterwards. So we're just going to pull out a simplified Celtic spread version for you, Leo, to see where you're at. During this period. We're, of course, using the Beautiful Creatures deck, which is one of my favorite decks to use for, like, specific readings, like full moon readings, etc. And we have Page of Wands, Leo. Very nice. Venture, right? Adventure. Page of Wands is, of course, the earthy aspect of fire, and you are crossed with the 5 of Swords. All right. So we're going to get right into that. 5 of Swords, of course, is defeat. But I'm going to talk to you. It's not really that you're defeated, but it's much more a throwing up of hands when you're dealing with people who aren't playing fairly, right? In your conscience, you have the Chariot. So motion, getting ready to move, getting ready to take action on the path towards your dreams. In the back of your mind, you have Eight of Cups. All right. So that talks about setting boundaries, right? Page of Swords is the energy that you're in now during this waxing period, and the waning period energy is going to be Ace of Cups. All right, guys, so let's get right into it, Leo. Right at the center, you do have a fire card that comes out, a fire court card, but it's the earthy aspect of fire. Page of Wands is the earthy aspect of fire, and so we're talking about the very beginning stages of an adventure or a quest, the beginning ideas of formulating a project or something, right? Something that's going to be very artistic and dynamic and close to your heart. Page of Wands is the beginning stages of that because with the page, and remember the court cards are often very difficult for a lot of younger or newer readers to really interpret properly because the court cards are much deeper than we believe oftentimes or are taught oftentimes, and they really represent the mastery of that suit as we master certain sides of that suit. And so page is the first rung on that ladder, as it were, or the first step. And with Page of Wands, Wands being ambition and desire to move forward in life and follow our dreams in a way, right? The first step is conquering fear. And so Page of Wands also very much represents the conquering of fear, the beginning stages of learning how to do things despite the fact that you may be a little bit frightful of it or fearful or anxious, but having the courage to press forward anyway, right? And at least having the courage to follow your idea, right? A lot of people have ideas, but it takes a lot of courage and willpower to actually believe in those ideas enough that you want to manifest them. And so that's the first stage, and you're covered with a Five of Swords energy. And Five of Swords, you can see her face, right? She's pissed off. She's like, really? What the fuck? Five of Swords, defeat. And what happens with Five of Swords is that you're dealing with people. Five, first of all, is the number for power struggle, but you're dealing with individuals who aren't playing fairly. Right? You're in a power struggle with someone who's not playing fairly. They're hitting below the belt. And the only way that you can really win in this situation is to lower yourself to their level. And you don't want to do that. To you, that would be them really winning. And so rather than somebody actually defeating you, the Five of Swords, although it is the card for defeat, it really means that you've decided to sort of throw your hands up and say, look, you win. You know, it's more hollow victory, but it's because the Five of Swords energy, right, is focused out. Well, actually, it's focused in, but how you're feeling, in the sense that this defeat is how you feel. But it's because someone else in your life is having a hollow victory, okay? So if you understand what I'm saying, is that that's why the card is associated with the feeling of defeat, because the energy is how it leaves you feeling, right? The fact that you can't win with this person, and the fact that you really have to agree, not only agree to disagree, but agree to losing or agree to letting them win, right? So I'm trying to really like focus in that on the idea that it's not so much that you were not good enough or that you were truly defeated or that you had a true failure, but it's more a case of that you took the high road, right? It's defeat and taking the high road because you don't want to lower yourself to the other person's tactics. They're manipulative, they're liars, they'll do whatever they can to win. And it's such a nasty, hollow victory that you don't want it. And you don't really even want to be around them. You're that pissed off about it. And so you walk away. And this could certainly be in an area where you're dealing with somebody or you're working on a particular project and there's a constant battle. You come in with the Chariot and Eight of Cups, and it's quite interesting because the Eight of Cups in this deck is called Quest, right? In a lot of ways, Eight of Cups talks about, in a way, yes, being on a quest, but it's because you've put boundaries in place, right? You've decided to put boundaries in place, borders, walls up, so that you're not continuing to deal with people who are just sucking your energy. You know, Eight of Cups is deciding to no longer engage in sort of relationships that just drain you of your energy. and to enforce boundaries, right? Enforce your boundaries with people so that you don't accidentally fall into those dynamics again. And then really insisting on a higher and deeper level of engagement with people, and certainly of a deeper and higher level of sort of interpersonal relationships with people. You know what I'm saying? Where your friends and your lovers all resonate a little bit higher because they are quality people. They're people who are invested in you in the way that you're invested in them. They don't just suck your energy, and it's just, and so in a lot of ways, once you make this decision, it is in a way a quest because you have to maintain that decision. You have to enforce your boundaries so that you don't waste your time with those type of people and you make room for the right type of people in your life. Now, Chariot is in your conscious, Eight of Cups is in your unconscious. So yeah, this is indeed a power struggle over a project or a venture or idea that's very important to you, very, very close to your heart perhaps. It took a lot of courage for you to even begin this or work on this with somebody, but there's somebody here who's causing a lot of strife, but in your mind, you're saying, okay, I get this. This is about borders. In the back of your mind, you're saying, okay, this is about boundaries. I'm going to have to enforce my boundaries with this individual. And in the front of your mind, you have a desire to move forward, right? This project is something with the Chariot that is important to you. It's a part of your path to achieving what you want for your life. And so even though Five of Swords comes in, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have been defeated or that you have already walked away, but it is indicative of a dynamic where this is the type of interaction, right? It's a battle of wills. It's a battle of the mind. It's a battle of minds, right? And the person you're dealing with is really being very kind of underhanded about it. They're not being very honorable about it. And so I say you may or may not have been defeated or thrown your hands up already, but certainly this is the current dynamic if you're still in it. And yet, so you realize that, okay, perhaps what I need to do is enforce some boundaries so that I can still deal with this energy because I want to carry on with the work. You don't want this interpersonal sort of fucked up energy to take you away from your objective, right? And so you have to find a way to engage and to work on this project, and the way to do it is very good. Eight of Cups is a very good energy for that, because it is an energy of enforcing your boundaries, right? In a very fair way to you and to everyone else. B comes in, could very well be that you resonate with B energy, or there's a person in your life who's going to come in this week and resonate with B energy and really help you through this scenario, right? Because here we go, we have a Page of Swords, which is an air quality. But again, Page of Swords is earth of air. So another very practical sort of aspect of air. It's the first step to mastering the swords realm, right? The realm of air, the realm of the mind, the realm of communication we associate with swords, and Page of Wands is the first rung on that. And so just with Page of Swords is the first rung with that. And so just with Page of Wands, the first step is conquering fear. The first step with Page of Swords, which is dealing with the mind and communication, is self-inspection. The ability to look inward and to have a sense of understanding about the world outside, to be I want to say discriminatory, right? To be not discriminatory, but discriminating, right? To be discriminating, to be critical, to be able to inspect, to be able to look at things and make educated judgments about them, right? It's all about beginning that first step of logic and reasoning and understanding, and seeing how smart are you? How much capacity do you have for new understandings, right? And for a clear thought, and for still being grounded, because pages are earth, so the earth aspect of swords, and still remaining grounded. And so this is the first stage, and Page of Swords certainly comes in a sense that you come into this month really kind of watching, really kind of taking a moment to figure out what is really going on with this dynamic, right? These could have been also initial conversations as well about an initial project, right? But you begin sort of the first step of sort of being a bit more critical, I say, about this connection. It could be the first step of you really beginning to sort of come in and seek a little bit more clarity about this project, perhaps, right? Or about what's going on because of this Five of Swords. Page of Swords is inspection. It's the first step of wanting to seek the truth, wanting to have a rational conversation about something, perhaps debate a point because you don't agree with what's going on. So it's the first step of handling that type of a situation, right? Standing up for your own opinions and standing up for your own position. You come out of the month with an Ace of Cups, and that's sort of a beginning of fondness. It could very well be that this is a rocky relationship that started off and that ends up really nicely. Right? This could very well, and I want to say, because this is page energy and then Five of Swords, I want to say it's not devastating. Right? This is not a devastating battle of wills. And with this Ace of Cups and with these pages, Page of Wands and Page of Swords, it is a feeling that this may indeed be sort of the early rocky battle of what can turn into a really nice love connection. You ever meet somebody and you both hate each other in the beginning? You can't talk to them. They can't talk to you. They get on your damn nerves, right? And that's the beginning of the story of how they got together. I feel like this is very much this scenario, right? Whether it's a true romantic love connection or a deep, deep friendship that comes out of this, with this Ace of Cups, it really does. And the fact that the bee is such a great peacekeeper and mediator and really ultimately works for a good outcome for everyone. This energy is pervading here. And so in a lot of ways, Leo, I want to say there's a new connection with someone that you're having in a particular area in your life, which I want to say may be a project or something to do with your career that you're working on. And this interaction right now may be a little rocky. It may be a little bit bickery. You guys may have a real sort of battle of wills with each other. You may feel like they're a bit unfair and they use some underhanded means. They may feel the same thing about you. But ultimately, I think you guys actually resonate with a lot of the same energy. You're very compatible with each other. And I think that this has the potential, Leo, for turning into a very nice friendship or indeed even a love connection. All right. So for those of you who are resonating with this, you're going to know what I'm talking about as soon as you hear this reading. And so this is your full moon reading for some of you, Leos. This is what you're going to be busy with. And of course, whether or not this turns into a nice relationship or not, you do realize, remember, Chariot is a path to our greatest dreams, right? And Eight of Cups is the desire to enforce boundaries and let quality people in. I'm going to say for some of you, this kind of rough period, this Five of Swords period, is that period of you enforcing your boundaries, right? Letting this individual know that what you will and will not tolerate. And that is kind of the rough beginning period sometimes when you don't just give in to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who comes down the way. When you are truly on a quest to have deeper and higher connections with people, yeah, the beginning may be a little bit rocky because not everybody's going to acquiesce to your boundaries. You know, everybody has their own opinions, their own boundaries, and their own way of interacting. It's through a period of time that you see whether or not they truly respect you and respect your boundaries, if they develop a sense of respect for you as you develop a heightened sense of respect for them. And that period can be a little bit rocky and up and down. Nevertheless, that doesn't mean that after this sort of stage of testing and working things out, that it doesn't indeed end up into a very nice connection, because of course they have fulfilled all of your criteria and they have worked and taken the backlash when you said, no, I'm not taking this. They may have smarted and walked back to their corner and then came back and realized that, they need to respect your boundaries, and so double downing on effort. This is all that sort of process of Eight of Cups also. Just because you have this quest for a higher relationship doesn't mean that they come in so easily. There's still a lot of work involved. However, great potential for this to be a great connection and a great friendship. And of course, this is what some of you may or may not be dealing with this November 12th full moon period. Thank you so much for stopping by, Leo. If you resonated with this was a very kind of specific and turned out to be quite cute reading about a particular couple. If you resonated with this, please let me know. Like, subscribe, and share. All of that really helps my channel to grow so I can continue to stay here and give you these videos. But for right now, Leo, have a wonderful full moon, and don't forget to check back and hit that bell for notifications so that you can be here for the new moon reading on November 26th as well. Bye-bye now.